Hey, it's Ace, welcome back to another video. Today I prepared for you a build guide for the Director Submachine Gun. I'm gonna be honest, in no matter what game this gun finds itself, every time I pick it up I feel like I'm cheating. This gun's incredible RPM, it's great handling, good hipfire, and the general feel of the gun has always been replicated very well in games, and Delta Force is no slouch either. The Vector feels good in this game, and it feels very familiar if you ever use this gun in other games. So without wasting time, on the screen right now I have prepared the build. What do we have here? We have gun that comes at 50 control, which is fine. We will get into this later. Handling at 67, extremely important for SMGs, and even more so for the hipfire builds we're going to be running, because we want our sprint fire delay to be basically non-existent, and it's basically non-existent here at only 110 ms, which is great. Then we have our stability at 50, also important, just like the control, to keep around at 50 base value, because this is the shaking of the weapon that you get in hipfire and in ADS when you holding down the trigger. And because this is an SMG where we want to beam people and it has incredible RPM, we need to keep this at least at a reasonable level, and that's why we have it here. Then the bread and butter of the build, of course, our accuracy. Accuracy, of course, as we know, only applies to hipfire accuracy in this game. For some ungodly reason, it doesn't affect the ADS accuracy. But okay, we're going to take the hipfire at 76. This basically means that most of our bullets are going to be landing at center mass, making it very easy to kill people at hipfire distances, which are usually 10 to 15 meters. It can go further, but that's the general range. Of course, for my viewers, I always prepare an ADS option as well, and I try to also showcase that you can ADS with the weapons I come up with, which are predominantly hipfire build. So I made sure that our ADS speed is also fast at only 260 ms, barely going up from the general value, that the handling at 67 is what provides us this option. Okay, so Ace, why is this gun so important? Why should I use this over the other extremely good SMGs in this game? Okay, this is why. First, we have shots to kill. We need 5 shots to kill somebody. Why? Because people have 100 health, we do 20 damage per bullet, means 5 shots to kill. Rounds per second. We fire 1100 rounds per minute, which means that that translates to around 18 shots per second, RPS. Then we have time per shot, which is 0.55 seconds. And then when we take all of that, our time to kill is basically we just use the times per shot, which is 0.055 equals to 0.22 seconds time to kill. This is how fast you kill somebody with the Vector in Delta Force and other games probably. So how fast is this in real life? This is literally faster than a blink of a fucking eye. Yeah, this is how fast this weapon kills somebody. So how does it translate in game? You appear on the screen, they're fucking dead. You appear behind them, dead. Above them, dead. Under them, dead. In their house, dead. This is how fast this gun kills people. And I think the only other weapon that comes close to that type of time to kill would probably be the ASL, and maybe the MP5 would come close to the competition of that incredible time to kill. But nothing holds a candle to the Vector in that department. The other great thing about the Vector is how versatile it is in the builds. On the screen you're seeing a suppressor that you can use with the Vector, and the reason I'm not using it is because the range increase isn't that amazing, and it gives 7 control, which I didn't really feel changes much for the Vector here. We want a suppressor on an SMG. Why? Because it a little bit increases the bullet velocity, which is important. Bullet velocity is a very important stat. But this kills our handling and it kills our accuracy, not extremely, but it's still, you feel it affecting you, and that means that you're moving slower with the weapon, you're not so zoomy anymore. But I want to be transparent here and offering an option if you're struggling controlling the recoil with the build that you're seeing on the screen. In fact, after I finished recording the video and everything, I went into the test range again because I got some extra XP coins just to see if I can perfect the build and come up with something even more reasonable for you. So the gun code, when you copy it, is going to be slightly different from what you're seeing on the screen, but you're going to get the exact same build that you're seeing on the screenshot I'm providing. You're going to get those stats. What you're seeing is actually a gun which is a little bit worse than the build that I came up with you today. But I have to say, if you don't have the gun coins to level this weapon is extremely fun to level. It's one of those weapons which just feels so good to use. You won't really have any problems getting this to level 30. And level 30 is basically all you need to run my build. That's how fast the Vector gets in that insane killing range, which is amazing. Man, this weapon, not only does it feel great to use, I always enjoyed this very sci-fi look it always had to it. I remember all the series from the 90s and the 2000s when you would watch them, they would have like their sci-fi guns, and those guns were always like P90, Vector, and all these crazy looking SMGs that today, for us, of course, are more of the standard. We are used to seeing these crazy SMGs, but back then those people and those filmmakers always used those weapons. I mean, can you imagine introducing a P90 in like 1990s and people used to fucking M16s and shotguns and they get a weapon which looks like it was used in Alien? That's great. And, you know, Vector is no slouch in that department either. Just a funny trivia of that. You can see here, I'm just running into a building. You beam people. Like I said, the time to kill is 0.22 seconds. I mean, they couldn't blink, they're dead. This is how effective this weapon is. I also want to mention that this weapon has access to incredible extended magazines. You can go with 40 or 70. Now, I don't opt to use those because the reload time is not so bad on the Vector for me personally. But as I'm keeping transparent, you can also experiment with those things. I've seen people make use of the 70 round mag damp Vector. I've seen the 40 is also very good. I mean, 10 bullets doesn't hurt anybody. It will hurt your stats, but it won't hurt you having a little bit more. But generally, in my lobbies, I usually die when I face more than like 3 or 4 people, no matter what type of magazine size I have. But if you're somebody who is, you know, doesn't have like incredible high stats and kill iteration, and your lobbies are a little bit more reasonable than mine or somebody else's, then please try the other extend mags, and I'm sure they will do you good. Okay, I think I mentioned everything which is great about the gun, so let's talk about some of the drawbacks, as this is a review of the weapon and a build guide, so let's get into it. The first one is, of course, that since this is an SMG, which is only exclusive to Roy and Toxic, you're gonna have to be able to know how to play Roy and Toxic and also having pretty solid map knowledge to actually make this weapon quite effective. By that I mean knowing when to flank, how to flank, what to smoke, and when to smoke. You can see here, I saw that my teammates are on the point. I'm gonna smoke this huge area so I can run into the watchtower that you can see that isn't smoked because I want to use that watchtower. I know there is some allure inside there. I saw the walls, so I'm just gonna walk in there and use this position for myself. And I know that people are gonna be running to try to defend that tent where all my teammates are. And I'm just gonna pick quite a few kills here with the Vector. This is how you play Roy, for example. Toxic, I don't know. I don't play Toxic, but if you know how to use Toxic and the Vector, go ahead. It's unfortunate, or maybe for us, thank God, fortunate that Luna cannot use Vector. She can use SMG-45, which is bad enough, but Vector is something exclusive to the medic. So, like I said, get good at medic, learn the maps, learn how to flank with it, and you're gonna be more than fine with the Vector. The other really annoying part, and they seem to have a pattern doing this for a lot of weapons, this thing is locked super far into the Warfare level. So level 38, if you're playing Warfare, is the first time you will be able to play with the Vector, which sucks. I mentioned in my M250 build video that it's also locked at like level 43, 44, whichever one it was, making it really annoying. I had some people actually DM me on Twitter asking me, Ace, I'm new to the game, how do I level quick? And I'll just give you a recommendation. Just use SMG-45 until you're like in these levels where you want to be using some of these endgame weapons that are really good, like the Vector, like M250, and some of this other stuff. And since SMG-45 is also one of the best weapons in the game, you get it super early. You can use it, if I'm not mistaken, on all the classes. Maybe just not on Assault, but like on basically everyone. Meaning you only have to learn the weapon once, and then you can just farm, you know, your score, your KD ratio, and win games and level up fast that way. That'll be my recommendation. And play Luna if you can until you learn a little bit the game, because you can level quickly by just spotting people. That's my advice, how to get the Warfare level. And don't forget to use your Warfare XP boosts. You will get them there in your inventory in the game. The UI is a little bit shitty there, but you will find them. Make sure you click those on, and you will in no time be at level 38 to be able to use this Vector and try this beautiful build. Anyway, with that being said, guys, this is the build guide for the Vector. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I really enjoy making these videos, and I enjoy when you guys have some new guns to play with. So if you also enjoyed watching it, like I said, leave a like and subscribe. And I have a Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. As I mentioned, people DM me for questions how to level quickly. If you have some questions, leave them in the comments or just DM me on Twitter and follow me. I would highly appreciate that. With that being said, I wish you a very good weekend and have fun. I'll see you later. Take it easy. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.